To allow the camera to process slow shutter speeds in the early 19th century, subjects in images had to be quite still. The daughter is perfectly still, but the mother and father exhibit the normal blurriness that is brought on by swaying or movement. She had passed away the day before, which explains why. In those days, families would frequently snap pictures with their departed loved ones. What appears to be a happy teenager in this photo is actually Jeff Franklin, 17, who, on March 10, 1998, killed his parents and badly injured 3 of his siblings while using a hatchet and sledgehammer. Jeff Franklin is seen smiling from the backseat of a police cruiser. This image illustrates the depressing influence, strength, and repercussions of cults. The bodies of Heaven's Gate cult members, who were persuaded to kill themselves in March 1997 by leader Marshall Applewhite, are shown in this photograph. They believed that the Earth was soon to be destroyed and that suicide was the only way to survive and make it to an alien spaceship. This image was discovered on a camera that was damaged and had been washed in Travis Alexander's home. Shortly after his lover Jodi Arias fatally stabbed and shot Alexander, the next few pictures show him bleeding on the bathroom floor. This photo, which would have been his last before dying, was allegedly taken by her after she hopped into the shower. She then allegedly took additional photos after killing him. This image shows Mark David Chapman, a fan who would eventually kill John Lennon, receiving an autograph from him. It seems that when Chapman asked John Lennon for an autograph, he was en route to the recording studio. Unknowingly signing the album, the musician then left. Lennon returned hours later, and Chapman returned with a .38 caliber handgun, firing several shots that hit Lennon in the back and shoulder. Chapman then stayed at the scene until police arrived. Later, Chapman said that Lennon's statement that the Beatles were more popular than Jesus infuriated him and was blasphemous. He didn't try to escape or thwart the arrest. By far the most heinous and infamous events in human history, the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki killed more than 200,000 people, half of whom perished instantly. There was an enormous, dazzling, and blinding blast that contained radiation when the bomb Little Boy was detonated on Hiroshima. It is possible for a person standing close to a wall to block the blast's light for long enough that no radiation strikes the wall behind him. The area where the person was standing was hit by an atomic flash that charred the nearby walls. These permanent shadows serve as reminders of the victims who stood there and were instantly vaporized by the atomic bomb's blast. You may not be aware of this, but at the time of the celebration depicted in the photo, Tyler Hadley, the young boy on the right, had just murdered and dismembered his parents, hiding their bodies in an upstairs bedroom. He reportedly took 3 hours to clean up after his horrifying deed before having his pals over for a party, where Hadley informed a friend about the killings who then called the police. James Bulger, 3, was kidnapped from a mall in Kirkby, England, according to this security camera image from February 1993, which depicts 2 10-year-old boys doing it. They tormented him indescribably and then killed him by hurling a large iron rod, leaving his body on the railroad lines. As the youngest killers convicted in the 20th century, the boys were found guilty of the crime. After the clown paint was removed, what in this image appears to be a harmless clown turned out to be much more. In the 1970s, John Wayne Gacy was found guilty of rape and serial killing. Gacy killed and sexually assaulted around 30 young men in just over 6 years when he wasn't playing the clown at kids' birthday celebrations. He earned the moniker, the Killer Clown, and received a death sentence. On August 15, 1998, a father and daughter in Northern Ireland had their picture taken. 29 people were killed and 220 more were hurt when the red automobile in the picture exploded shortly after. An IRA splinter organization called the Real IRA, which was against the IRA's ceasefire, was responsible for the car bombing.